The Afghanistan deployment in 2013 was that one was pretty rough, actually.
How's it, gang? How many of you remember September 11th, the day that the two planes crashed into the Twin Towers and they came tumbling down? How many of you know someone who signed up for the military because of that? Went to the recruiting office and signed up. Well, I know somebody. His name is GREG CHOW. He's a husband, he's a father, he's an orthopedic surgeon, a judo sensei, and a soldier. I interviewed him for my 20+ segment of my channel. Also, tune in after the interview with GREG CHOW, and I have some comments and more information about him. Thanks for tuning in. Watch the interview.
Hi, my name's GREG CHOW. I'm an orthopedic surgeon by trade. I've been in practice here in Hawaii for about 23 years now. I also, the second most time-consuming thing that I do is I coach and teach judo. I've been doing that for about 20 years here in Hawaii also. The other thing that I've spent a lot of time doing was as an Army Reserve medical officer. I got into the Army Reserve after 9/11, ended up spending about 14 years in the Army Reserve.
It's awesome, Sensei. Awesome. And can you tell me, here's a brief recap of how you started, where you started at, and how much schooling did it take as far as like being an orthopedic surgeon?
Well, I came from New Jersey. I went to college in Baltimore at Johns Hopkins University. So after college, which was for me 3 years, I got out a little bit quicker. Then I spent 4 years in medical school. I went to Duke University in North Carolina. After 4 years in medical school, then it was 6 years at UCLA for orthopedic surgery residency. And then after the UCLA 6 years, I spent 1 year in Denver, Colorado, doing spine surgery specialty training. So it was after that, in 1995, that we moved out here to Hawaii to start in practice, and been here ever since.
Awesome, Sensei. Can you tell me what is the most challenging thing?
Well, my specialty is spine surgery. I do some general orthopedic surgery also. Probably the most challenging thing is we always have to try to be perfect. You know, I mean, we don't really get second chances. We don't get a whole lot of chances to make up for errors. So it's sort of like the Olympic gymnast. You know, you have to be perfect all the time if you're going to really do a good job. And you know, obviously nobody's perfect. We're not always perfect, but you know, we always have to keep striving to make things better all the time.
Mm-hmm. What is the most rewarding, most gratifying thing about doing a surgery?
Well, it's a very rewarding profession to be in, because we get an opportunity to take people who are having really big problems, usually pain, but can be all kinds of serious problems, and you know, an opportunity to actually do something, physically do something that makes them better. So, you know, having that opportunity and that ability, it's a very rewarding profession.
You joined the military, Sensei Greg, and I mentioned that in before this interview, and it's something that stood out. And if you can elaborate on this a little bit, but just so for the viewers to know that you joined immediately after 9/11, correct?
That's right, I did. So yeah, like many of us, I guess, the 9/11 had a pretty significant effect on me, and I was one who never really had done any military service in the past. I was a practicing orthopedic surgeon for about 6 years at the time, and you know, I realized that it takes a long time to train an orthopedic surgeon in the Army, and the military does train orthopedic surgeons, but it takes them a long time. It takes many years. And I looked at my situation and I said, you know, I actually have skills that can be helpful to the cause, that can be used. So I did. I went and signed up for the reserves as an orthopedic surgeon. And pretty quickly after getting in, I got in 2003, and by 2004, I was sent on my first deployment to Iraq. And you know, it was tough. I mean, it was tough leaving the family. It was tough leaving my practice. You know, the kids were pretty young back then. It was difficult, but you know, it was actually also probably the best deployment that I had. It was the most rewarding, most useful, doing things for for good people, for a good cause, and doing things that a lot of people either don't have the ability or the opportunity, or the time to go and do. So it was a really good experience.
Being a part of the judo club when you got deployed, we remember that clearly, and we were very proud of you. What other countries have you been deployed to, for how long, and what stood out about each place?
Well, each of my deployments have been about 3 months at a time. I've had 2 separate deployments to Iraq. The first one in 2004. The last one was more recent in 2015. I was in Kosovo once, so Eastern Europe, and I was also in Afghanistan one time. Kosovo is it's Europe, and it's not terribly dangerous, and was actually not all that exciting as a deployment. The Afghanistan deployment in 2013 was that one was pretty rough, actually. I was on a base pretty close to the Afghanistan-Pakistan border, one of the more active combat areas, and we were on a pretty small base, so we didn't have a whole lot of luxuries, didn't have a whole lot of comforts, and we did see a fair amount of action. I mean, 2013 things were slowing down a little bit, but it was still pretty active, and always had the worries about insider threats and all of the bad things that could possibly happen. So it's and then back to Iraq in 2015, which was completely different than it was in 2004. Different area. I was in a different area, but in 2015 and still now, for the most part, our troops weren't going out doing much in the way of combat. So we were sort of just sitting there waiting and providing support for the Iraqis.
And like I said, we prayed for you, thought about you every single day that you were gone, and we're grateful and blessed to have you back. Yeah, and we enjoy your presence every day. And judo, okay? So you're an orthopedic surgeon, you're in the military, and you've been coaching judo. How long have you been coaching judo overall?
Well, I guess I probably kind of started teaching some judo and coaching kids probably somewhere around the early 1990s, but got more serious about it when my kids started to compete. So somewhere around 1998, 1999. So it's been a while, almost 20 years, where I've been coaching pretty seriously.
Mm-hmm. How long have you? Well, we were with you from the beginning. Well, 2001 roughly, yeah. We were in a place we started in a place in Kalihi, then we went to YBA, and then we got here. In years of coaching Hawaii Tenri Judo and the high school judo, what is the most challenging thing that you found?
Well, I think actually coaching Hawaii high school judo is probably the most challenging. It's a very difficult job because you have people of all different skill levels. You have beginners who've never taken a fall before. You have people who are more advanced. And as a coach, you only have a few months to put a team together and make them a solid unit that can function as a team. And you have to take people at all different skill levels and take the ones that are beginners and get them up to a point where they're able to actually compete and do judo. And you have to take the ones who have more experience and more skill and try to make them better so that they can excel at what they're doing. So that's probably the most difficult, most challenging coaching job that I've had. The dojo it's in some ways easier, and in a lot of ways it's much more enjoyable, much more fun. It's more slow and steady, but stay with a commitment. Be consistent. Be consistent with yourself. Be consistent with everybody else. And hopefully the people that keep coming consistently are the ones that really benefit and keep getting better.
The judo with Hawaii Tenri Judo, you've traveled everywhere, nationally and internationally. Can you name some of the countries that you've been to outside of the United States with the judo team?
Yeah, I think I've been all over the world. I think there's only 1 or 2 continents I haven't set foot on, but been to Japan, been to Australia, South America, Argentina, Chile, El Salvador, Venezuela. I've been to Canada, been to Belgium, been to Croatia, South Africa, Thailand. So I've been to a lot of places. Probably some more that I've forgotten here.
It's a lot of places. Let me ask you this, Sensei. With everything you're involved in, again, from the orthopedic surgeon to the military and the judo, you're almost considered like superhuman. Do you ever sleep? And well, a serious question. What is your drive? What keeps you going? What keeps you going? And that's a question that begs a lot of us. Like, how can SENSEI GREG keep up and keep going like that for all these years? What is it?
Well, I think it's a lot of things. I mean, the first is really enjoying the work. I enjoy the work that I do as an orthopedic surgeon. I enjoy teaching and coaching judo. And I enjoyed the military. I didn't enjoy it enough to stay, so I've gotten out of the military obligation at this point. But you know, it's not work when you love what you're doing. So you know, I look forward to getting up in the morning, going to work. I look forward to leaving work and getting over here to the dojo to teach judo, to be with the kids, to be with the students. You know, I enjoy training people for competition, taking them to the competitions and seeing them do well. So, you know, for me, that's a lot more enjoyable than sitting at home watching television, where it's hard to find anything worth watching on television. You know, so I'd rather be doing what I'm doing.
SENSEI GREG, I want to tell you on behalf of my family and the tons of other students and the parents of their students that you've had under you, the families that you've trained, that we are so very grateful for everything you do, you and Sensei Robin. Sensei Robin was featured as our humble hero because you and her are just like one solid unit, and we appreciate everything you do. And thank you for all the years of service. You're 20 years as an orthopedic surgeon, military service, judo sensei. We appreciate everything you do, and thank you for saying yes to this interview. Yeah, anything you want to say to the viewers out there?
Yeah, just look for doing things that you enjoy doing, and whatever you choose, just do the best you can, no matter what it is. Do the best you can, enjoy what you're doing, and then life is good from there on.
Thanks, Sensei. Thank you for everything. This is Flat Top John, and this is our 20-plus segment of my channel. If you like Sensei GREG and what he stands for, what he's done, and what he continues to do, click the like button, please. If you really like the journey we're on and the direction I'm going, subscribe to my channel as we find more great people like Sensei GREG and Sensei Robin. Thank you for tuning in. Sensei Chop the Shaka. It was an honor to do this interview with you, Sensei GREG. Thank you so much. Thank you for allowing us to feature you on this 20-plus segment of our channel. Thank you for your 20-plus years doing orthopedic surgery. Thank you for your 20-plus years of being a judo coach, a judo sensei. Also, thank you for your noble act of patriotism in joining the military in response to September 11th. I can't forget thanking our humble hero this week, who is Robin Chow, the wife of Sensei GREG, and their children, Daniel, Chrissy, and Mindy. Also, viewers, please, if you know someone and you want someone featured here, please drop me an email at flattopjohn808@gmail.com, and we can work at featuring your nominee on this channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. Take care.